Welcome back, everybody. So today we are going to read the next two chapters in our book. We're going to read chapter 17 and 18 in, what's the title of our book? Who remembers? Everybody remembers. Good job. Yes, Hatchet. You have the clue right here. I'm giving it to you, but that you did need that. You knew it. Hatchet is the title of our book. And who's the author? Yeah, you're right. Gary Paulson. He wrote the book. The author is, like I just said, the author is the person who wrote the book. And for us, it's Gary Paulson. So, chapter 17 and 18 in our book. But as always, we are going to read an adapted version of the book. That just means that you're going to get much of the same text, except condensed. You're going to get much of the same information, not as much text. So that's what we're going to do today. And as soon as we finish, we're going to follow up with a quiz. This is just comprehension. This is a question and answer session. If you want these papers here to follow along, they're in the link at the bottom of this video. You do not have to have this. You can simply write your answers down on paper. You do not have to have it. If you want it or need it for the visual prompts, then go ahead and get it. Hit pause, print it out, hit pause, turn it back on, and play for the rest of the video. Let's go ahead and look at chapters 17 and 18 in Hatchet. All right? Got to get it so you can see the book a little better. Well, I guess you can. It's right there. The tornado tore up Brian's camp. He will build again. He got a new fire burning. Brian noticed part of the plane was sticking out of the lake. Brian made a raft. He took the raft to the plane. He wants the survival kit that is on the plane. All right, so the tornado come through. Do you remember yesterday's chapter? At the very end of the chapter, it said at night he heard a noise and it was a tornado. It came through. It destroyed his shelter. He was hurt again. So today when we started, we're talking about how the tornado came through and tore up his camp, but he's going to build it again. It obviously put his fire out because he has to start a new fire, but that's okay. Big thing here, he noticed that part of the plane was sticking out of the lake. And Brian really wanted the survival kit that was on that plane. So how's he going to get to it? He's going to build a raft to get out there. Okay, let's go on and look at the next chapter. Chapter 18. Brian used his hatchet to chop into the plane. He wanted to find the survival kit in the plane. Brian dropped his hatchet into the lake. He had to dive into the lake to get his hatchet. Brian was then able to get into the plane. He saw the body of the dead pilot. Brian got sick. He got out of the plane. Brian had the survival kit. Okay, so he has built a raft to get out on the lake to the plane. He wants that survival kit. But once he gets out there, he has to take his hatchet and chop into the plane. When he gets in there, he sees the body of the dead pilot. Kind of makes him sick. But he is still able to get the survival kit from the airplane. Pretty good job, Brian. That was a lot of work. Ready for this part? All right. These first two questions, easy peasy. Number 1, what's the title of the book? Hatchet, Book Thief, or Friends? If you have this, you know what? I guess you want to see it, don't you? There we go. If you have this, you need to circle your answer. If not, just write it down. It's okay. What's the title of the book? Hatchet, Book Thief, or Friends? Everybody got that? Yep, we know the title is Hatchet. So you need to have Hatchet written down or circled on your paper. Whatever what's easiest for you. Again, you do not have to have these. You can print them out. You do not have to. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2. Who is the author of the book? Is it John Grisham, Gary Paulsen, or Stephen King? Who is the author? Write it down, or if you have this, circle it. Yep, it's Gary Paulsen. That is our author. That's the person who wrote this book. We have both of those names. We saw them on the front of the book. Hatchet by Gary Paulsen. Number 3. Brian started a new fire after the tornado tore up his camp. Yes, no, or neither. Brian started a new fire after the tornado tore up his camp. Yes, no, or neither. Circle the answer or write your answer down. Yep, he did. Brian did start a new fire after the tornado tore up his camp. If we go back into the book, we're going to see that right here at the top, it says that a tornado tore up Brian's camp. He's going to build again. And he got a new fire burning. So right here at the top, it tells us that he got a new fire burning. All right, now remember, if I'm going too fast, hit pause, write your answers down, start again. You do not have to keep up this way. Take your time. We're not in a rush. We're doing this at our own pace. Let's go ahead and look at the next 2 questions. Number 4. What did Brian build to get to the airplane? Remember, he saw a piece of the airplane sticking up out of the lake. What did he have to build to get out there to it? A boat, a raft, or nothing? What did he have to build to get out there to it? A boat, a raft, or nothing? Write your answer down or circle it. Good job. Brian had to build a raft to get out there to get to it. And it says it right here, where he saw the piece of the airplane sticking up out the lake. Brian made a raft. He took the raft to the plane. So if you don't know for sure, you can always go back in your story and check the answer, check to find the answer. You do not have to wait on me. I want you to come up with the answers on your own. Don't wait for me to give it to you. You know this. If you need to go back in the story, go back and look. All right, let's go ahead and move on to 5. Number 5. What did Brian want from the plane? He had a big purpose for going to the plane. What was it? What do you want? Survival kit, money, or a newspaper? What do you want? Circle your answer or write it down. Yeah, he wanted that survival kit. That was a big deal. He wanted the survival kit. If we look back in our book, right here at the end, it says Brian wants the survival kit that is on the plane. That's what he's wanting. Okay? Let's go on to the questions for chapter 18. Number 6. 6, yes. What does Brian use to get inside the airplane? How does he get in the airplane? The bow and arrow, the hatchet, or a spear? Write your answer or circle it. What's he used to get in the airplane? He has to use his hatchet. He uses his hatchet to chop into the airplane. And if we go back to our book and look, right here at the top, it tells us that Brian used his hatchet to chop into the airplane. Right here at the top. Again, anytime you need to, go back and look. Number 7. Brian dropped the hatchet into the lake. How did he get it back? He dove into the water, he bought a new one, or he left it in the lake. How'd Brian get his hatchet back? Write your answer down or circle it. He did. He had to dive into the water to get that hatchet back. Brian dove into the water to get his hatchet back. If we go back to our book, it says it right here. Brian dropped his hatchet into the lake. He had to dive into the lake to get his hatchet. Okay? You can always go back and look. That's what you've got the book for. Last question for this chapter. Number 8. What did Brian take from the plane? He went there to get something. What was it? Money, a shirt, or the survival kit? Write your answer down or circle it. Good. Yes. The survival kit. That's what he wanted. So that's the correct answer. He took the survival kit from the plane. And at the very bottom of this chapter, it says that he got out of the plane. Brian had the survival kit. So he wanted it. He built a raft to go get it. He used his hatchet to chop through the plane to get to it. He found the survival kit. That's what he needed. So that finishes chapter 18. We have chapter 19 and the epilogue, and we will be finished with our story. But for now, Brian really wanted that survival kit. What do you think is in there? Now, you can't get this one wrong. We haven't read about what's in the survival kit. We just know he really, really wanted it. Come up with 2 things that you think is in that survival kit. Write it down at the bottom of your paper. Write it down on the bottom of on the back of the paper you wrote your answers on. Doesn't matter. If you don't want to write, draw a picture. Doesn't matter to me. Ever what you prefer. Okay, guys, that's it for now. We will go back and we will finish chapter 19 and the epilogue at a later time. Bye, guys.